This guy has been pushed on a landing or fallen out onto the landing from a cell. He's making movements like this, maybe slashing movements. It was known or found out he had a piece of zinc. Nasty, short weapon, like a spear or arrowhead. It would have sliced and diced someone quite definitely. Absolutely no problems, or gone straight in between the ribs maybe, or something similar. He's on the landing. Now he's approached by a couple of officers. Obviously got some pottle, they're going to deal with it. Let me tell you now, all public sector prison officers have batons, extendable batons, the ones that were banned by one of the Conservative MPs or whatever. You know, you can have a machete and walk around the streets of London. However, an extendable baton, no. We have them, or we had them, or I had one, yeah? This is a situation, this, you see you've got a weapon, he's making slashing. What it does, that baton, you rack it, makes a nice noise, scares people. And it's on your shoulder then here. Yeah, you're guarding and out in front. It puts distance between you and someone. Yeah, and this guy is fully justified, because when you draw your baton, it has to be justified. You have to do paperwork that goes to the governor. He's got a bladed weapon. He's making slashing moments. Yeah, it's justified. Get that baton out and put some distance between you and him. Yeah, surround him maybe not surround him, give him somewhere to go. Surrounding him might force him into some action, you know, assault somebody quite badly. But put some distance. Show him you mean business. Rack your batons. So, he ends up tangled up with him. Now this is one of the things, along with spitting in people's faces, that can promote red mist, operational stress, makes people angry. He's tried to bite one lad in his head, an arm. And then he's tried to bite another person's face. Snarling beast, we're going to call him. You know, crazy man. So they managed to restrain him, and he's taken, I would imagine, to the segregation unit. Like I was saying, next day, a spoon. So imagine the bit you put in your mouth, food, carry out of food, or other products, yeah, sharpened like an arrowhead. It's got a handle, nasty. I've seen plastic knives, forks and spoons made in some of the most horrendous weapons. They go straight through you. You know, so imagine something you'd open an envelope with. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, most people have weapons for protection, thankfully. So, what are we thinking now? Well, this guy, you look at his history, he was banned from every building, whatever that means, in Merseyside for 5 years. So I'm starting to think this guy's a bit of a crank. When I say crank, I'm not being insulting. I'm thinking maybe he's not a full shilling. Maybe he's one of them people, you know, that should be receiving some sort of input in a forensic unit, hospital ward, secure ward, and maybe needs to be on medication. The PTSD was mentioned as well. Maybe that's part of it. Ryan? I've seen him, we're all right. Yeah? Anyway, for this incident, the weapon that was found in his cell, the assault on the staff, attempted assaults, he nearly got 4 years. That's a proper prison sentence, that. A few of the small bits, minor assaults, a month here, a month there, were concurrent, running alongside that sentence. That's appropriate, is it not? However, I am thinking this guy quite definitely should not have been in prison. What do you think? Now let's go back to the buttons. Like I said, I used mine a fair few times, and I had it racked a few times and didn't need to use it. It makes a fucking noise. Whack! Yeah? Drop it! Drop the blade! Boom. They're doing that. I had a governor come up to me. I did my paperwork, I was on my own, on the healthcare. There was another officer, you know, One of them who may be a good officer and do a good job, but no bottle. He was stood way down the landing. Not near an alarm bell, which I could deal with, just as far away from the incident as possible. However, I'm stood between this guy, bladed weapon, and the office full of nurses. Yeah, the guy is the other side. Yeah, he's well out of it, him. I did my paperwork. It was all resolved with no incidents, no restraints or anything else. I got him behind his door. I de-escalated. I talked to the guy. You know, a bit of reasoning. Even though he was unwell, and he quite definitely was, unmedicated, waiting to go to hospital, you can still reason with people. The governor comes back to me. You need to think about this. I says, what are you on about, Gov? He's on about my paperwork. I says, what do you mean you need to think about it? Do you want to put this paperwork in? I thought, oh my God, really? Yeah, that's a governor that, fearful of putting some paperwork in where someone's drawn a baton. That's why we were giving them, I believe. That's why the lads at Berwyn should have racked theirs, put some distance between the crazy snarling guy who possibly should have been in a forensic unit. A couple other times, I whacked people in arm. Not people I was scared of, they were self-harming. However, a lot of these people, you know, maybe have an addiction or something similar, have contaminated blood. HIV, you'd be surprised how many you come across. And I don't want any of that anywhere near me, even though it's not as contagious as we first thought. Hep B, Hep C, all manner of nasty diseases. So if someone's cutting themselves and I want them to, excuse me, stop, I'm giving them a tap on arm again. You know, people questioning what I'm doing. No, not the number one governor, because the paperwork definitely goes to them. Not people in the know, not a CNR instructor. Well, one or two who didn't like me, maybe. But no, you get a ban for good reason. I have seen patterns used, though, by nuggets. When I say nuggets, that's prison officers who just have no control. In a cell, imagine a cell. Imagine a standard semi-detached house, the bathroom, yeah? That's the size of a cell, there or thereabouts. Obviously, there's no bath, there is a toilet, yeah? Now imagine two prisoners fighting. Now, if one's got the better of the other and the other is at risk, serious risk of harm, yeah? Maybe, just maybe, you'd have to do something that was necessary. However, what you wouldn't do, if you got 6 screws, officers in the cell, trying to split them up, what you wouldn't do, like one SO did, was say draw battens. So there's 2 lads fighting in the family bathroom, there's 6 screws in there, yeah? You draw your battens out, what's going to happen? Correct. A couple of screws got wiped out, one got concussion. Some big bullying get who was completely out of control, who went on to join the police, so he'd do well there, wouldn't he? Start smacking officers on the head. What the actual F? Anyway, guys, our Brian, yeah, like a pig in muck. Just look at him. Beautiful day, he finds the shit. I said, Brian, oi, look at that dial. What are you doing, you lad? Eh? Thanks for your continued support. I do mean that. You're a fantastic community of people. God bless you all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Sit down. Let's have a look at your dial. Sit down. Sit down. For the camera. No, sit down, you muppet. Sit. 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 Look at that. I'll sit there.